For the third time in a decade, you're a squid, you're a kid, except maybe you're not a squid at all, maybe you're not a kid at all. This is a desert. They're kinda hot. Maybe that means we can swim and drink water now? Oh, I guess not. That's kinda sad. But you know what's not sad? Money, which apparently a lot of people like. Nintendo have a lot of money. Of course they do. They've sold over 10 million copies of Funny Squid Game III. 10 million copies? That's like the whole of Portugal. So just one question remains. How on earth did we get here? It all starts on February 17th, 2021. Well, actually, it starts back in June 2014 when Splatoon 1 is revealed, but for the sake of your time and mine, we're just gonna kinda yada yada over the first two games. The first Nintendo Direct of the year. Smash Bros, Fall Guys, Mario Golf, Miitopia, here's Link, and here's Link again. About 47 minutes of later, the last trailer begins to play. It's probably Super Mario Odyssey 2, said pretty much everyone watching, but it wasn't. That game remains nothing but a figment of our collective imaginations. Instead, in what I like to think of as a late birthday present to yours truly, Splatoon 3 was born. And you know, if you want to give me another late or early birthday present, hit subscribe. New hairstyles, new stages, apparently with Katniss Everdeen now. France for whatever reason did not make the cut. And hold up, who the hell was that? Your eyes weren't deceiving you. That was a salmonid. You know those creatures were employed by Grizzco to kill? So just what on earth was going on here? Well, that turned out to be Little Buddy. And as his name suggests, he was just a little guy. Or was he? Splatoon 3 was real. It was here. Well, it wasn't here yet, but it was real. Just what happened next? More news? Information? Knowledge? Nothing. Nothing at all. Well, there was this one piece of admittedly pretty nice summer art, but we wanted news, goddammit. For about 7 or so months, give or take, Splatoon 3 lived in the hearts and minds of Splatoon fans across the globe, and was pretty much non-existent everywhere else. Let me ask you a question. Do you remember the 23rd night of September? September 23rd, 2021. The final Nintendo Direct of the year, and the day Splatoon fans had been waiting for. Grab your knives and forks, or spoons, because we were finally eating again. The return of the Mammalians trailer was here. It let us get a closer look at some of the specials like Crab Tank and Zipcaster, reminded us that the undercover umbrella will always be forever useless, and confirmed that there would be returning stages from the previous games. But that was just a starter, a nibble if you will. Of course, this was called the Return of the Mammalians trailer, so just what in fresh hell was Return of the Mammalians? As it turns out, it was the game's single player campaign. This probably wasn't that surprising to most people. Both of the previous games had story modes too, and oh my god, who left the furries in charge? Now, there were a few familiar faces in there. Callie, Marie, Captain Cuttlefish, DJ Octavio, again, but most importantly, there, staring us right in the face, while I say right, sometimes his eyes do look in two different directions, was Little Buddy. And we seemed to be chilling. In fact, he seemed to be helping us. So that confirmed it, right? The Salmonids were our friends now? Spoiler alert, no. It's 2022 now. What will replace Salmon Run? Funny you should ask. Now that Little Buddy was our friend, we couldn't possibly keep spending time inciting the brutal mass murders of his friends and family, could we? Oh, maybe we can. Pepper Flopper plays into that whole dolphins are secretly evil thing. Fish Stick looks like a mild annoyance at best. Bandlets has secretly been preparing us for the egg throw ability for years, and unauthorized flying thing, kill it with fire. But if all that's the case, and we're still at war with the salmon, why is Little Buddy hanging with us? Did we steal him? Did he get lost? Is he an orphan? Does he have Stockholm Syndrome? Who knows? Maybe that's why Big Boy over here is so angry. Oh yeah, and Splatoon NA finally decided to show up. A whole month and a half after they made the account, but hey, better late than never, and being a little late to the party is kind of on brand for them anyway. There's a new trailer. It's just turf war. But we get to see all the new weapons in action, but it's still just turf war. Hey, those medals are cool, but it's still just the release date. Wait, September? I thought you said summer. That's not in summer. As it turns out, yes it is. You may be able to get a pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks, and I've probably swapped out shorts for sweaters at this point, but Nintendo were keeping their Splatoon summer promise. Just about. Copium be gone, the Splatoon 3 Direct has arrived. There were plenty of new stages and some familiar ones too. Hammerhead Bridge has been fixed, fan favourites Mahi Mahi Resort and Mako Master back. This is all looking pretty good. Who invited you? But hey, did you guys know this place has a timer? In the spirit of chaos, we will be volunteering as tribute with our new bow. And check out the Splatana, a sword that is definitely an on-purpose new weapon and not the accidental love child of a brush and a charger. Sharing is caring with Tacticula, we're playing jump rope with Wavebreaker. Is this what it's like to successfully slide in the DMs? And
who's this? Who's this? Who is this? Oh, it's the one! It's the only! It's the...
This is Shiver, Fry and Big Man, otherwise known as Deep Cut, Splatoon 3's new idols. As many predicted, there were 3 of them, with Big Man making Splatoon history as the first ever male idol. Speaking of firsts, Splatoon 3's first ever Splatfest, Rock vs Paper vs Scissors, is announced as the world premiere, alongside Splatoon 3's first ever official tournament, Enter the Splatlands. Hey, look at that! Big Man's winning the Splatfest at half time. Surely nothing could go wrong from here. Oh, so Shiver wins the first Splatfest with Team Rock. Hopefully this doesn't become a pattern at any point. Starburst win the Enter the Splatlands Invitational, beating Mad Titans in the final, and become the first ever winners of a Splatoon 3 tournament. Turn around twice, do a cheeky little countdown, and...
showtime.
September 9th, 2022. Splatoon 3 was here. Funny Squid Game III becomes a record breaker in Japan, selling 3.45 million copies in 3 days. We quickly discover that Mahi Mahi is for some unknown reason starring in Honey I Shrunk the Hotel Resort. Umbrellas are insanely broken, and no, not the good kind. Umbrella shields literally have one job and we're doing none of it well. At least we can say we're finally free from everyone spamming missiles or Stingray, right?
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
The Splash-O-Matic and the Sloshing Machine have the entire community in a chokehold. I'd say take a drink every time you saw one of these in your lobby, but you would literally die. Hey, is that Captain Cuttlefish? It turns out the small fish can inhale a big boy amount of food. Seriously though, where does it all go? We fight the musical octopus for the 3rd time in a row, but wait, doesn't he usually turn up a bit later? Dramatic fall straight out of the Hollywood playbook. Fighting, fighting, fighting. Deep Cut are the villains. Deep Cut are no longer the villains. The final boss is a giant bear. Small Fry ain't so small anymore. The world is saved. All is good. Uh-oh. What? We're trapped. Where? Desert Island. Okay, well, do we have food? What about equipment? Okay, do we at least have entertainment? Well, that depends. Say hello to Splatfest number 2. Gear versus grub versus fun. Hey look, Big Man's in the lead at half time again. Surely it doesn't happen twice. Oh, for God's sake. Luckily, there was another Splatfest right around the corner thanks to the release of Pokemon Scarlet Violet, and good news, Shiver did not win this one. Well, I say good news. It's great if you're on Team Water, as Big Man and his team successfully pulled off the first Splatfest sweep of the game. Finally, redemption. Not so great if you're on Fry's team, who is at this point 0 for 3 in Splatfest. One day, Fry. One day. Mariah Carey has fully defrosted, which can only mean one thing and one thing alone. It's December and chill season has arrived. In the spirit of all things 3, and no, I don't mean the ghosts of Christmas past, present and future, the second season brought with it 3 brand new weapons. The Splattershot Nova, which would later be dubbed the Long Arrow Spray. It may be a decent painter, but while some weapons violently obliterate you, this one just kinda nudges and tickles you to death. The Big Swig, which I can only imagine was created by sticking a normal roller through a pasta maker on like lasagna settings, you know, so it gets all wide and stuff. I don't know, maybe that's just me. And the Snipe Writer 5H, a pencil which can hold 5 shots when fully charged, but it does take 2 shots to kill with. We also got some second kits for already existing weapons like the Tentatek Splattershot, the Carbon Roller Deco, and the Ink Brush Nouveau, just to name a few. The Gold Dynamo was not included despite being used on a bunch of promo. The Aerospray RG and the Forged Splattershot Pro were there as well, but for some weird reason, one of these had a 210 special points requirement, and it was not the one that deserved it. Wait a second. Where are they? This is Tetris block number 9, Brine-Water Springs. Aesthetically, one of the best looking stages in the game, but on a list of things Brine-Water Springs can be considered the best at, there is no list. That's literally it. Thunder Heights is also back, but it's kind of missing something. Like, Oh, I don't know, its height. For whatever reason, this stage was starring in the spin-off of Honey I Shrunk the Hotel Resort, Honey I Shrunk the Apartment Complex, but it was still good to see a fan favourite back. Oh yeah, and X-Rank made its return, this time under the name X Battles. Splatoon 3 shocks the entire gaming world by taking home Best Multiplayer at the Game Awards and makes every Call of Duty fan cry in the process, as their grey ass shoot 'em up, kill 'em up game gets beaten by the colourful squids yet again. The first ever big run takes place on Wahoo World, which, in all honesty, we could have let the Salmonists keep Wahoo World. It's not like anyone was going to really miss it as a regular stage. What's that smell? It smells like food. Good food. It's time for Splatfest number 4, spicy versus sweet versus sour. Big Man, after getting a sweep in the previous Splatfest, gets the hugely unpopular choice with Team Sour. They only got 15% of the final vote, but to be honest with you, that makes a lot of sense. Most of the people who like to suffer when they eat chose Team Spicy. It's good news for Fry fans though, as after an entire season and months of loss after loss, she gets her first ever Splatfest win. Splatoon 3 hits a massive milestone as it's revealed that the game had sold over 10 million copies in just 3 months. And what do you know, it's February again now, which means a couple things. It's almost 2 years from when this all started and another Splatfest has arrived. The question was simple: what's the best kind of chocolate? Dark, milk or white? I, like most people, thought Fry had this one in the bag. Milk chocolate is the most widely available and it's the most popular one, right? Wrong. Very, very wrong. Severely underestimated the draw of having the forbidden white ink, and it's another big man sweet. But that's not all February gave us. The month may be short, but boy did it deliver. Nintendo Direct gave us news. Splatoon 3 is getting bigger. The game was getting an expansion pass. Wave 1 would bring back Enquiries Plaza from Splatoon 1, and with it a whole new set of shopkeepers, plus Spike and Splatoon's original idols Marie and Callie, otherwise known as the Squid Sisters. Ironically, they're actually cousins. But that wasn't all. Oh my god, is that Agent 8? Wait, is that Enquiries Square? What happened to it? Oh my god, Pearl, Marina, why is there no colour? What does it all mean? Side Order's reveal would leave fans with 1,000,001 questions, but none of the answers. Do you have Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell Elon Musk's ego has decided to call it this week? If not, you are probably going into fresh season blind, because Splatoon 3's Season 3 had no trailer. That's the bad news. The good news is that fresh season actually had a lot going on. The splish is loose! Except for when it's not, because after this post, that weapon would never see the light of day again. The Tri-Nouveau gets a pretty decent kit, that it shouldn't have. Come on Nintendo, Soda Slosher with Fizzy Bomb and Tacticula was right there. The Neo Splash calls it an all-out war as fans debate whether it be better or worse than the T-Tech, which had a near identical kit bar the bomb. Oh, and while we're on the case, Splashmatic hate reached an all-time high as this thing now had 2 good kits, and the thought of having to face Quad Splash made most fans want to throw their Switch out the nearest window. Luckily, this didn't happen, as Crab Tank finally received the nerfs that everyone and their mother had been waiting months for. Zeko and Firefin would collaborate to create a new brand, Z&F, who would be responsible for the Splat Charger and Splatoscope's second kit, but also the gear available in this season's catalogue. Oh, and 2 new special weapons join the party. Well, I say 2. One brand new one called Super Jumps, a bunch of goofy looking balloons trying to put an end to jump camping, and the other that sends shivers down the spine of Splatoon 1 veterans across the globe. That's right, the crack was back. One of the most infamous specials from the first game, the Kraken, had returned, this time under the name Kraken Royale. And yes, there was still no gold dynamo. That mystery stage from the Direct is revealed to be Umami Ruins, which was, you guessed it, kinda Tetrisy. Manta Maria from Splatoon 2 was also back. It's big run time again, this time taking place at Inkblot Art Academy, and what the hell was that sky snake eelfish looking thing? That was Horrorboros, the new Booyah Bombing King Salmonid, or just Boris for short. Hey, is that Squid Beats? Nope. But at least you can choose your music now, if you're in the lobby. Table Turf also goes online, and pools are introduced. At long last, the collective prayers of Splatubers worldwide have been heard. Guess what? It's that special time again. The Squid Sisters make their Splatoon 3 musical debut, performing in Enquiries for the Nessie vs Aliens vs Bigfoot Splatfest. Now this Splatfest, it was weird in every sense of the word. It was about the weird and wonderful, I get it, but in what world does Nessie, the Loch Ness monster, beat aliens? I mean, damn, in this one I guess, but god, I really underestimated the power of the Scots. Also, Also, Big Man outdoes his own record with Team Bigfoot, recording a record low of 8.69% of the vote. This man is either winning the Splatfest by a mile or losing in absolutely horrendous fashion. Up next, Extra Work Round 1, a Salmon Run event that was unfortunately very quickly overshadowed as Nintendo announced yet another Splatfest plus merch on the exact same day as the event. To make things worse for Extra Run, on top of being critiqued for not being able to play the event as a solo player, this was no ordinary Splatfest. It was collab time once again, this time with The Legend of Zelda to celebrate the release of Tears of the Kingdom, one of the most highly anticipated Nintendo games of recent history. The theme was the Triforce, power versus wisdom versus courage, and for once we had a relatively even three-way split of the votes and a new tricolour stage to match. So does this mean the Splatfest results were even? Do pigs fly? The answer is a big fat no. It's a shiver sweep, as power, not at all influenced by Ganondorf looking like this, take the victory. Sizzle season is here and trailers are back. Literally no clue why Fresh season didn't have one, but who cares, we moved. Another new stage is added in Barnacle and Dime, and I don't need to say the thing you all know I was about to say. Just know despite its blocky nature, people did generally enjoy this stage a lot more than the previous new ones, so a win is a win I guess. Humpback Pump Track was the returning stage, which did divide opinions. In case you thought Splatoon 3 wasn't leaning hard enough into the chaos element of the game, have some challenges. Too Many Trizukas, Sheldon's Sampler, Foggy Nation, Extreme Jump, and some normal modes for some reason. Fans quickly established that they'd be weekly mini events, which is great, but just one question. What's with the time slots? Realistically speaking, as much as most fans love and have a mild to moderate addiction with this game, ain't no one sitting there like, oh, time to wake myself up in the middle of the night to go play the funny Squid Game. We're addicted, but we're not that addicted. It's big run time yet again, this time on Undertow Spillway, which much like Wahoo World, we could have let the Salmonids keep it. Speaking of Salmon, Extra Work Round 2 took place, this time with the opportunity to play freelance, which was a bonus. But unfortunately for Extra Run, it still somehow managed to get overshadowed and just kind of forgotten about. I don't know, I sort of see Extra Work as like the Meg Griffin of Splatoon events.
You guys all think you're so much better than me.
Oh, Meg, that is the least fancy thing I have ever heard.
Despite that, you can't say Salmon Run fans weren't eating this season, as alongside a big run and Extra Work came a brand new Salmon Run stage. It was called Jammin' Salmon Junction, and I would say more about it, but in all honesty, I just haven't played that stage much. Not on purpose or anything, I just keep missing it. The paintbrush got added to the game and was quickly dubbed the Dynamo of Brushes, which is just as well for the actual Dynamo players, because the gold Dynamo was still missing and perhaps just part of some weird Splatoon hive mind dream we all had. A new blaster was also introduced, going by the name of S-Blast 92. This was a different blaster to most, as it had two different modes. Long range if you're on the ground, and short range if you jump. Think about it sorta like how a roller works, but you know, the other way round.
Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
Big Swig Express and Anarchy Splattershot Nova now exist for some reason. Yes, that's right, new weapons got second kits before some of the old ones. No, I don't know why either. The Swiffer and I will just go cry silently in the corner. Hey look, Splatana Wiper Deco. How could we shorten that? Maybe die? No. Oh yeah, and if you've done well in a match and so did the person next to you, you'll now fist bump so everyone knows you were the real MVP. Or at least you will if you got 3 golds and a compatible emote. Sizzle season being in summer made it the perfect time for an ice cream Splatfest. Strawberry vanilla chocolate, strawberry vanilla mint chocolate. In perhaps the most predictable Splatfest so far, vanilla takes the victory here. But this wasn't the only Splatfest Sizzle season had in store. Oh no, there was a second one, and this one asked us to get deep. Real deep. The theme was what's the most important in life? Money, fame, or love? Now, unlike all the others, this Splatfest had history behind it. Love versus money had happened in both of the previous games, with love emerging victorious both times. So you know what that means. Obviously, love wins for the 3rd time in a row, right? Right? Apparently, even when Shiver is supposed to lose, she still wins. While the Ice Cream Splatfest may have been incredibly predictable, this was definitely the most shocking result to come from the event so far. Speaking of shocking, that's exactly what many said about Drizzle Season's 2023 trailer. This season sucks. Reusing the catalogue? Oh my god, the devs are so lazy. Do you know what? Forget this. I'm moving to Foam Stars. How about you wait until the season actually comes out? Although I do have to ask, did the gear adjustment feature really need a full 10 seconds dedicated to it? It's cool, but it's not 10 whole seconds of a trailer cool. Good news though, we did get 2 more new weapons. The Dreadringer, which has a cool gimmick of being able to fire 2 globs of ink at once. You just know that the name Bislosher was thrown out as an idea for this thing's name at some point. But it is a shame that this thing takes 3.5 business days to do anything. You know what wasn't slow though? The heavy edit Splatling. Where the Dreadringer ended up being weaker than expected, the heavy edit went in the complete opposite direction. That thing is like a laser. Stand in front of it, blink once and you are dead. Reduced to atoms. Thanos snapped. It's powerful. Some might say too powerful. With Drizzle Season 2.0 marking Splatoon 3's 1-year anniversary, fans were anticipating big things. Maybe just a little something beginning with side and ending in order. Maybe some fan favourite stages returning. Maybe all the 20-something weapons that don't have second kits will get one. 8 second kits were announced. The least of any season so far. And it's safe to say fans were not happy. Well, except for Dynamo users, who after a year of waiting finally had access to their beloved Gold Dynamo. And Brella users, who were arguably treated to the best kit of the season. But honestly, they deserve it. Anyone who stuck by that dysfunctional mess of a weapon class for the last year deserves to get a good kit. A new Splatfest was announced, once again asking us to get deep. Cut. The question was who would be the best leader. Shiver, Fry or Big Man. Now at the time of recording this, that hasn't happened yet, but it doesn't need to for me to know that it doesn't matter who wins. The community will be chaos afterwards. Crablobe Capital and Ship-Shaped Cargo Co were the new stages for this season, and unlike every other season, both were actually new. Not returning new, new. And even better yet, they were actually stages, not just Tetris blocks. As a result, they were quickly dubbed 2 of the best stages in the game. Oh yeah, and perhaps the most Marmite Salmon run stage of all time, Salmon in Smokeyard, was back. That place is the definition of you either love it or hate it. It's Umami Ruin's turn to host Big Run, but weirdly enough, no extra work was announced alongside it. Is it possible Nintendo forgot about their own event? So as it turns out, Drizzle Season's been kind of fun so far. Maybe we were a bit too quick with the flop allegations. I guess only time will tell. Speaking of time, you're gonna need it. 400 new titles, 80 new banners. Best get to grinding or I'm never getting that Tri-Slosher user title, am I? And that pretty much brings us to today. If you enjoyed this video and don't want to wait to get your next Splatoon 3 fix, check out the video on screen now and hit subscribe while you're at it. But most importantly, stay positive, stay smiling, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!